said it was made of
The
satin.
problem with that,
Oh, that would be a roller coaster.
I've never
the
heard
problem
Franny
with that
mention a box
is if it's true for us and it's also true for Wes.
Does he put that box on the side of another box and he mailed that
You
box?
were
Is
fighting
there a
someone
box
level 8,
mention counter
now
as
you're
to how
fighting
long
someone
it's
level
ready
12.
to box?
Yes, yeah.
If there's not, there should be.
I'm not
Double
a show
tap.
pony.
It's
You gotta
just a
wait for
general
it to
rule,
be
double
valuable
tap.
for me.
Every 15
I'm
that you can
really tempted now to get a little dry erase board to prop up right here. And days since a party member has gone unconscious.
Yeah.
We're at 0.
I mean, you're gonna put that big fat goose egg on it and it'll just
So
stay.
Wesley,
I want that as an actual thing we have on the wall.
you go to what level the number of people who go down goes to. So in our fight, we went down 3 times, 5 times, whatever. We dropped to level 5. And then if we go
I don't
down more
like
than
this
that,
at all.
think about it. We go into a big bad fight and we get hit 15 times. Level 15. The only way that you don't revert back is you don't go down.
No, I hate all of that.
Brenda,
You're
can you
falling
hand
down
me-
on your job.
can you hand me
That
an
just
orange
sounds
pen?
extra complicated, honestly.
I meant to do this previously, John, and as per our conversation previously about where your house is located.
On the cheap. Is it orange?
Yes, that's why I
Raise
specifically.
'em.
That's why I specifically grabbed an orange pen.
Are you gonna go through and do that for all of us?
No, John just forgot where his house was. In reference to where he was.
But that actually would be kind of cool if we had like
Y'all can do
a
whatever
little
y'all want to
pin
that. That's why
that
I gave
matches our
y'all
character
pins.
bit.
To be fair, I don't really
Here's
remember
one
what my house is.
Mine is off the map.
Yours might be off the map too.
Yeah.
Yours might be really off the map because you're
No.
like the Feywild.
But I was born in the material
It
plane.
doesn't matter. I've got to go home and find a husband. I wasn't born there, but I've got to go home and find a husband.
It's going back to the old country.
Yeah.
Going back to the old country.
I'm sensing a lot of hostility.
I know, for real.
Maybe
Your country is old. It's in mothballs. Leave
For
it be.
real.
That's it. Feywild smells like mothballs.
I
a colorful one.
guess in some ways that actually would be the antithesis for Augustina since moths were so big for her. I see what you're doing. Okay.
Are we going, Jay?
Yep.
Glad we're all paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely here.
Wait, what?
Exactly. Oh!
Oh, almost all over the laptop. That would have been bad.
So close.
Would you care for a
Swallow.
Would you care for a napkin or you good? You gonna
I
live?
believe in you.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good. Let's go.
So we're still
We're still at one.
still at one. I claim credit for that one.
It still only counts as one.
Wes is at 1. Brenda, I think, may have surpassed that, but I haven't been keeping track.
That's also unfair. 'Cause
This is true.
I can do that to you very easily.
It's true.
Jason. Alright. Previously on the keep. So, y'all are in Casanova, you're in the capital. You guys went. Excuse me, there it is. You guys went and met up with. You good over there, bud?
I keep forgetting this drawing is in here. It's like it was a pattern for a foot, for a shoe, for a child. I keep forgetting it's there, so I opened it up and I seen it. So
This bodes well for tonight. This bodes well for
I
tonight.
know how words work.
Adjourned.
Good
So you
drawing.
guys went and you met up with Maximus, the leader of the Southern Tribe faction group of Scourge within the capital. He seen Riker, who we referred to as Steel, said that there was a problem in one of the tunnels nearby. And asked if you guys could take care of it. To which y'all agreed and took off to take care of it. After winding your ways through a little bit of tunnels, you encountered a group of carrion crawlers. Well, we first encountered a blockage. And then you encountered a group of carrion crawlers. And it was in that fight that Mare decided she really likes hitting things. And then you heard what sounded like a cry for help, and Mare said, "I'm coming!" and just ran down the tunnel.
I think the correct term is Mare got over ambitious.
Overambitious is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Carried away, perhaps.
She Magnus rushes.
Mare
Yeah.
carried herself right over the edge and became the center vocal for a what could be considered a triforce of hags. Mare right in the middle.
Oh, was one of them courageous?
Was one of them powerful?
I mean, it turned into a giant ape, so.
Okay, then which one was particularly wise?
Not you.
I'm not part of this Triforce. I'm that blank center one where there's nothing.
So as Mare was surrounded, her friends quickly came up behind her, and a fight ensued, with which ended with y'all winning, not before one of the hags turned into a giant ape. And attempted to do some crushing, but died really quickly because the hag lost concentration on being a giant ape. And was a giant ape no more.
Still can believe
Within that room, there's a one of the big old obsidian obelisks. And a tunnel that continued on. But after defeating the hags, you all decided a little nappy nap was ensue. So you sat down and ate power bar and just sort of chilled out for a little bit. And then looked at the obelisk a little bit, did some studying. Riker, with his new ability to read Abyssal, found out that it had to do something with conjuration, and it seemed like it was waiting or in standby mode, something along those lines. After taking a little power nap and discovering all that, y'all continued on down the tunnel, weaving away a little bit, and you found out it ended with the big old strong break pointed to outside the city. Plains outside the city, near that city wall. He said, alright, well, I think our task here is done, and you turned around and started heading back. And as you started headed back, you came back to the big old spot where you had fought the hags. And coming down the tunnel, you had come down before with carrying crawlers with a big old scary monster. Looked like a minotaur, had big old bull heads and horns, carried a big old axe and wings. Known as the hunter.
No good.
And he said that the prey took the bait and took the trap. That's the thing.
And they did.
So we did.
No.
And
They did.
coming back behind you guys
Smooth.
from the corners were Edith and Estel, two half-borns, and a fight ensued. And it was a good fight, harrowing fight in which Mary died. But
Hey, I died first.
Well, no, you went unconscious.
0.
You went unconscious. Mare died.
Man, to just take away my faux indignity. Dang it.
you died previously.
This is true.
No one,
Previously.
no one had to use a diamond on you this round.
This is true.
This time.
It wasn't a diamond death. There we go.
Yeah.
You died, but it wasn't a diamond death.
Yeah. Diamond death. Well, in
Pulls me
speaking
back
of
into
diamond
some
deaths,
vodka.
Mary's
Searching for
rescuer was none other than Augustina, who, after the fight, came forward and surprised herself in casting of a Rubicon, to which she did blow up. And you guys were shocked apart many things from this encounter. You did find some interesting loot, and you all began gathering everything up and going, let's get out of these tunnels. So you started heading your way out of the tunnels, and that's where we still are.
Making our way topside.
Trying.
Topside-ish. We still need to, because
here.
the our new friends, Riker's friends, they hang out in the tunnels-ish, right? So we're not going completely.
You're going topside.
You're going back to.
They travel through there.
We're
It's
going
like
to
a highway
Maximus.
for them.
Right. Okay.
Don't leave
Well,
us for.
that's the Scourge's highway.
Yeah.
Got it. It's not where they live; it's where they go through.
Quite
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah, right.
Cool.
Sometimes tunnels better than city streets.
Yeah.
Sometimes not.
Less king's eyes
Danger of that.
Yeah.
and
True.
taxes.
True.
And so, you guys are heading down the tunnels, and a reminder, it is pitch black in here unless you're using a light source, so you all have a form of dark vision, but that helps, but it's still very dark. You aren't seeing things very
Are we at a point where we want lanterns or torches or whatever?
Say, I think we have lanterns and stuff.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind for setting in your brain as you all move down these tunnels.
Oh, good grief.
So as you're going, what is our current marching order to get out of tunnels?
I'm on point.
Riker's on point.
Carl still take back.
Riker's in the back.
Augustino will probably be behind Riker.
Frontish, middle-ish.
As far back as Kari will let me be.
Perfect. Alright. So as y'all are heading through these tunnels, winding your way back and forth, trying to get out.
Put a little lighted torch and actually have some light.
Okay. Get a little flame going. Sort of lighting the way as y'all begin moving your way back through these tunnels, Riker. You are fairly familiar with just, maybe not these tunnels specifically, but at least with how all this works, and so you feel fairly confident in your traversing. As y'all are going back, Riker, perception check.
That would be bad.
Is it? Can he have advantage because I can see further?
Sure. Ooh, that's a lot better.
Hey,
An actual 20 for a 24.
nice.
Then, yeah, up ahead, sort of around one of the bends, you hear what sounds like
No more sounds.
heavy footfalls, like heavy steps.
Fucking draw my swords.
Sounds like a few of them, and it sounds like they're getting closer. And as they sort of come up, you start seeing like the glow of like torchlight ahead, sort of around this bend. So as they're sort of coming up, what are y'all doing?
Riker's gonna step forward. A little bit further forward
I
to meet.
still draw my swords.
Trauma activating my form of dread.
Okay. So as y'all get ready, you see Riker sort of stepping up as the light comes to her, and it sounds like this. We can tell it sounds like multiple footfalls, probably
Like people or like heavy sounding feet?
heavy, almost like armored, like heavy,
Like boots,
yeah,
not
boots.
gigantor creature
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah. Sounds like boots. 10 or so people, it seems like. And then you see, rounding the corner in front of you, Riker, is Maximus. As he comes down, he rounds the corner, and as he sort of sees you guys, you see like the look on his face sort of relax. And you can tell like he has some individuals behind him, and they look kitted and like ready to fight something. Comes up to you, goes,
You're late to the party.
I'm sorry, this thing is relaxed when Riker's like covered in blood, and with every flicker of the torchlight, you can see Augustina's skull. He's like, oh yeah, this is normal.
You're alive.
yeah.
Right.
The look is more like you're not dead.
Okay.
Like that's the sort of relaxing of his face of like,
We're all
okay, you're not. And so as
We're not dead yet.
he goes,
Anymore.
You've really let the tunnels go.
well, things are a little tough around here, but shortly after you left, there was a woman who showed up, and she said that she knew you. She said that you guys would be in trouble. So I gathered who I could, turned around, and asked more questions. She was gone, but from the looks of it, she wasn't wrong. I'm glad you're alright.
Yes,
What was
definitely.
Maximus again? He was a human.
Half-born. Half
Oh.
elf?
No.
Okay.
I need to fix my notes.
He's one of my ilk.
Yes, he is. We cleared all the way to the city grate. There's some stuff going on, and we need to talk. But you got carrion crawlers taken care of, and you got
Carrier covers isn't so uncommon. I feel like that was probably the issue.
some hags
And that's not
and a demon and
He
a
was
whole
a
bunch
big
of other
leech.
stuff, including a scourge. But right now we need to get out of these tunnels and we need rest.
Yeah, let's get back to the house and talk there. Lamar's still got food for us, and it's like, yo, puppies. Let's get out of here. And so, turning, that group will sort of flank you front and back as you guys are looking a little haggard. And he will escort you back out of the tunnels They give you a very wide berth as you are terrifying.
Which is humorous because as they start flanking us, Augustina is like moving closer and closer to Riker. She's like, oh God, they're surrounding us now.
You are safe. You are probably the safest you have been in a long time.
So
Getting to
as
stay right here.
they all lead you back up out of the sewers, back into the streets, and sort of lead you back down a couple of alleyways and like less refined streets. This is a more forgotten part of town, right? So the streets are not as well maintained. The buildings do not look as nice. But you are led to a house that's sort of tucked in like a row of houses. You can tell as you're working through here, some of the buildings are made out of stone. Those look to be more official type. You think that those are probably some sort of government buildings, but a lot of the buildings around here are just made out of wood and planks and that sort of thing, thatch roofs and such. And as you sort of round, you see that it's very commonplace to have a lot of buildings built right next to each other, or not literally on top of each other. So it seems to be where a lot of the dwelling is for these individuals. But you come to a house, and it is a single set. There is no houses above it, as these houses are not so wide, but they seem to be built a little taller, and they are built right next to each other. You're led into a house, and as you go inside, the door opens. At this point, the rest of the Scourge that were with you sort of leave and go off to their own places. There is a couple that follow you, stay with you. They seem slightly younger, but as you go inside, and Maximus sort of opens the door, you see there's a very well lit, very warm, inviting in that sense, sort of house. You see that there's like a hearth sort of going. It looks very lived in the sense of like a house that is full of like people and family and such.
Not like a rundown, rickety.
No. It does not look like it's well-to-do. It looks very much like a working class house, but it looks like it is full of life itself. And so as you sort of come in, and you do hear what sounds like in sort of the floor above you, the like laughter and things of kids and like the moving of feet and such. And so as you come in, you're greeted by a human woman with sort of like strawberry blonde hair that she has like pulled up sort of just out of her face. She's wearing like an apron and she's like bustling around, and as she comes in, she looks and goes, "Oh, Maximus, you're later than you said you would be." Steele! Oh, Steele, it's good to see you. She like runs up to you, and this is Amara, Maximus's wife, and she runs up to you and just like forgets everything, like throws you a big ol' hug. Like, and you can tell that
Roll for stain check.
she does like the whole.
You're still covered in shit.
Oh yeah. The whole thing doesn't seem to bother her. Like this almost seems like a normal affair.
Yeah.
She goes, well, some things never change.
No, they don't.
Okay.
House looks wonderful.
Hi, friends of Steel. I'm Amara, Maximus's wife. Pleasure to meet you all. Hi. You all look like you could use a little bit of rest and food. We have that. No worries. But first, Steel, you need to clean. Show your friends where to clean. Come back in and get you some food. Maximus, you need to clean too. You smell like your shop. And so y'all sort of go back around to the back of the house. So there's water basins set up for y'all to clean. And so after you go and get yourselves not covered in demon ichor,
Who knows what else was
you
there?
come back inside.
Feces.
And you see that there are, by the time you come back in, you see that the two individuals that had come with you, they have taken off the armor clothes. They seem to be relaxing, and there are kids everywhere. Like you count somewhere between like 10 and 15 kids, ages from like 5 to 15. They all have food in their hands now. They're all finding a place to sit down. And as you sort of come in here, Mara going, "Stop, Billy, leave him alone. It's fine. You guys go sit over there." And hi. It's a little crazy around here as usual. Please help yourself to some food. Find a seat. The kids have already started. Just make yourselves at home. And Maximus sort of looks at us. We've added a few orphans since you've been gone. You know how it is.
Some things never change.
Alright. Food first. Then talk. Some of us are hungry. And Maximus goes and gets like a wooden bowl and just starts filling it full of this sort of, looks like a hearty type soup or something. So yeah, you'll get your food, find a place to sit.
Kari's gonna find a spot, like, if not near, like right amongst the kids, and just as they're eating, she's slowly shifting her face through.
Already trick.
Just
Already trick.
keeping the kids occupied and herself amused.
Yeah. And watch the kids are just sitting there just like in awe of it. Soaking up every bit of it.
If possible, Mare would have been the last to finish bathing, and just taken a little bit of time to look over her new scars, and has just been very quiet.
Riker will get food last and wait by the door. And then once you get food, go back by the door, never being far from said weapon. It's just very obvious. Like,
Yeah.
the
Is it
streets
one
are
of,
dangerous now.
is it one of those we leave the weapons like outside or something, some other
Not
place or
necessarily.
something?
Wall.
Yeah, not necessarily,
Okay.
but I mean, it's not like if you wish to keep yours on you, there's nothing about that. You sort of see as Riker comes in, he just sort of leans his outward.
Well, I'm assuming there's really not enough room for the giant axe we're carrying.
It's in the bag.
I mean,
Okay.
Kind of.
I'm down to just my shirt and I'll take, cause like, oh, what a day, you know, you take all the shit off and like it's in bag of holding or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll keep Frostbrand. I'm examining my new perforations.
Start sewing over.
No, I meant the ones in the flesh.
Yeah. Those you can sew up too.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
This is true. But we did that magically though.
True. And so, as you guys, as the evening sort of progresses a little bit, y'all have your food, have a little bit of rest, and sort of sensing that there's a conversation to be had. You see Amar like telling the kids to get back upstairs, as the adults are gonna sit around the house at this point. So, as you all are sort of gathered now, reclined a little bit.
Riker started a pot of coffee.
Really, Riker?
You would, Amar beat you to it.
Well,
Yeah,
better
yeah.
coffee
You
is.
gotta have coffee, man.
Mhm.
So you go thinking, and she looks at you and goes,
I
I'm
did
gonna
learn
touch
from
you,
you.
man. Come on.
I should have known.
You should have. You've been gone for too long.
Unfortunately.
So as y'all gather back up, Maximus goes, alright, so just to recap, carrion crawlers, par for course, it's kind of what I thought y'all might be going down to for. But then you said hags and a demon, and you fought the scourge.
Mm-hmm. What's been going on in the city that things have changed so much?
Nothing really. I mean, everything looks and maintains as it is. Just it's that feeling you get, right? Just see when the wind starts blowing a little too strong, starts shaking a little bit. No real danger, just the increased potential for such.
Well, danger is coming.
Seems like.
Definitely is. You remember my brother?
Mm-hmm. Where is he?
He's out east now. All of
That's
this
still
has
good?
been yes, in that regard. But all of this has been a long time building. But I do not believe the cities to be as safe. We have been interacting with a group that is working across this realm, I guess, trying to stop portals and all sorts of magic things that are beyond my reckoning. But no, apparently there are demons and devils trying to come through into this realm. And we've been discovering these black stone structures coming out of the ground. Once again, these things are well into the knowledge of my friends, but myself, all I know is from them come evil creatures. And you have one down in your highway system now.
One of those stone things? Alright. So you seen these or something?
And you've come across a few of them.
How do we get rid of them?
I don't know yet.
That seems like a problem.
That is a problem. It's problematic that you have so many crawlers going around inside. It's problematic that you have hags settling.
Yeah, that is a problem. Haven't really run into any of those. To be fair, I don't know much about them.
They're magical and grumpy. They try to lure us in with a trap.
I would definitely be cautious and send a few more patrols or people going in twos when you can.
Well, if you say these stones cause things to come up out the ground, we're going to shut down that tunnel?
I don't think anything will be coming up right now.
What, the one-time use kind of things?
More like there are powerful people who have disabled any type of magical transportation in this world. Sounds good. I'll go with comment.
To be fair, that's not any less aggressive. You know these people?
Yes, I do.
Steel, you got some powerful friends.
I mean, I'm sitting in the presence of one of them, but there
I mean,
are others.
I can't. You told me that you got friends who shut down magical transportation across the entire continent.
Yep. Rory was a part of it. Be careful about smart people.
That's. I didn't know people could do such a thing. That's aggressive.
I didn't know people could transport across continents.
I've heard of that. I've done it. I've heard of it. Wizards and such like to do things like that. You just stop it.
Well, apparently you can for now. I'm curious though. While in the tunnel, there was one similar to my look, my stature. He definitely had the training that I have.
You're telling me no one who look like you trains church.
Exactly like you. He looked a little different, but
Same basic.
Seen without your beard. Alright. Well, from my understanding, from what Marcus has told me, I don't know anybody like you. And he would have said if somebody came through his group that looked like you, I can put some feelers out and ask around, see if somebody's not telling me something, but
Talk with the elders in the city.
yeah.
We're in the Scourge. But I'm concerned if they're gaining training, they've got an access, and you said there was a lady who came and talked to you
Yeah.
about us, which means that she knows you have connection with me, which is also not comforting.
She said she knew you. She showed up fairly shortly after y'all. Half expected she was trying to chase y'all down to tell you or something, but don't know.
What did she look like? Who
Uh,
was this woman?
Yeah, she looked pretty. Got sort of brown skin, had reddish hair. She had some smaller tusks coming out, you know. She had a gold chain on her left tusk to her left ear. Yeah, and then turned around and tried to get some guys mobilized because she seemed real earnest that you guys would be in trouble. Turned around to ask her a question, she was gone, which is impressive. Takes a lot to just sneak away from me, but
Yeah, she's been around a couple of times.
so you know her.
So I'm fine to make a stop. Yeah, I'm going to find her name.
Hello.
Thank you. Yes.
How'd you end up with her? She one of those that shut down all the magic in the world?
No, she's with the group that you originally found me running from all those years ago. So now you've seen a couple of us.
She's like you? Well, I guess the that's really small though.
Yeah,
Can you change that?
I don't know.
Hmm.
There's a lot of things I don't know, Maximus.
If she was pretty, what'd they do to your face?
That laugh was in character.
It's nice having backsteel.
Yeah, it's nice to be teased again.
Alright.
At least. I
Quick
like
question:
this
how
map.
big is the room we're sitting in right now?
Well, it's us plus 15 children.
Well,
So.
the children
No,
were sent
no,
upstairs.
I'll-
Never mind, I'm a liar who didn't pay
So-
attention.
I'd say because there's like a sort of offset, half sort of walled in kitchen area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a small sort of little front room area. There's a set of stairs that go up.
Mm-mm.
You don't know that. And then this is about the size of your living room.
So a spot where Kari could find a corner to start laying things out.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. She's gonna sit in the corner, start pulling out like the little drawings that she did, the sketches of the obelisk and everything. Start setting those out. Start kind of retracing the map of the path that they took. Just doing her best to kind of
Mm-hmm.
not go full beautiful mind on it, but Kari is aiming
Taking
for.
notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Amara sent the kids upstairs. Can Mare just take a look to see if any of them are at the top listening in?
Sure.
Perception, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Wake the computer back up. 21?
Yeah. You sort of go and like peek around. And it does seem like two of the older boys, they're closer to 14 or 15. And they seem to be like just kind of sitting at the top of the stairs, and you're not sure if they're talking to themselves or like listening. But as you sort of like lean back and sort of like peek around the corner to see if they're up there, you see them sort of look at you, and they sort of like scurry back.
Oh no, if they see me looking at them, I give them a little bit of a wink and a nod.
They still sort of like caught off by thinking that, oh, somebody saw. They sort of back up and they sort of like peek back down at you, like a little confused, but they're not certain. So they.
Do we want the gaggle of children to hear any of this?
Oh, Mare was not broadcasting any of this. Mare's not saying anything about if they're listening in or not. It was just curious.
If you're concerned about the kids, though, kids off the street are tougher around here. They'll be alright. The ones who are old enough to understand what we're talking about, they'd much rather be down here part of the conversation. The ones who are too young to understand, don't care. They're playing whatever games they're good. Kids around here tend to
Chuckle
grow fast. So,
So
you have a place to stay?
we need a place to stay. Someplace safe, but also discreet. There's going to be a lot of things going on in the city, and I'll give you well information in advance. A lot of things have taken place since I left. I am actually now the bodyguard to the ambassadress of, isn't it the Moon Empress?
Yeah.
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 Oh, I didn't realize we were
This is the
entertaining
ambassadress.
diplomats.
Well, you are the first. So, of course,
Welcome to our house.
you always come
Ambassadress.
see the most important people in the city first. Tomorrow we are going to have to go approach the king. So the less that people know where we reside for your sake and for ours, it's probably better.
Right. Now I'm gonna go see the king. Sure, of course you are. Why wouldn't you? You have friends who turn off magic. You're gonna go see the king. Man, your life has changed, brother.
Sometimes I wonder if it's for the better or for the worse. People are good.
I mean, sounds like you're doing good things. You're all fighting hags and demons.
Trying to. So we're going to let them know about the situation, and if you can get word as well to Marcus,
Yeah.
because he needs to be aware.
Yeah.
It would be beneficial over the next few days to sit down with both of you all.
We can figure something out.
Oh, I'm sure we can. But yes,
King.
yeah. So a lot of pomp and regalia and all that bull crap.
Fitted for the bodyguard of an ambassadress. So are you all bodyguards or just along for the ride?
Yes.
Fair enough.
I mean, I speak for me. I can't speak for everyone.
Well, if you're looking for a place to stay, it's not much and it ain't comfortable, but you're welcome to this room right here.
One important question as we've been traipsing through your city. There's a certain unsavory group that we ran into across the continent. A gang, so to speak. They mark themselves with fangs on their faces.
Oh,
Are they active here?
they're around. They don't mess with us. And we don't mess with them.
They're not in your neighborhoods, are they?
No.
Because
Nah, their presence here is smaller than the ones over at the Harbor City. We have a small presence there. I was hearing some rumors of things over there not going so well.
for our kind?
Yeah, because of them. I sent a group over there, supplies, and see if we can figure something out. But now the people here, the Fanged here don't mess with us. I don't like them. I got more worried about than just me. And I can't afford to go to war with that charming fiend fella.
He needs to die. He really does.
Look, I'm not going to dispute with you on that, but
Well, then it will be even better for you if our whereabouts stay quiet, because they have beef with a couple of people in our party, of course.
so they're hunting you too?
They were in the harbor.
Are they with the pretty lady or is that separate?
That's separate, but I don't know if they're with. I don't know if they're with the demons, if they're with the hags, what type of fiend present they interact with their charming bullcrap fiend of a face man over there. And you said I was ugly. You talk about an ugly one.
So you wait, hold on. So on top of meeting people who've shut down magic, you're gonna go meet King. You also met with the charming fiend.
His name's Barry.
I wouldn't use the word charming.
Wait, hold on. You said his name is Barry. The charming fiend, the leader of the Fang. His name is Barry.
Has a really great sense of style.
Barry.
Yeah.
Man, y'all have had some interesting adventures. Meet some interesting people.
If there's a way for us to get out cleanly and unnoticed in the morning, that would be best.
You can walk in and out of this house unnoticed around here. People may see you leaving the general area from here, but this house is alright.
As long as y'all are safe.
All the neighbors are friends.
I miss all of them. No, I do think it's late now, isn't it?
Yeah, at this point it's like midnight or so.
Rest is very much needed for us. So,
Rest is good. Sleep as long as y'all want, hang out as much as you want. We'll keep the kids upstairs and don't bother you. Whatever y'all need, just let me know.
it is good to be back, and I thank you for your hospitality.
Good to have you around.
You get up, he'll give Maximus a hug. And set his bedroll out by the door.
Alright. You all settle in for the night?
Augustine is going to thank Amara very much for the food. The bay leaf was a really nice addition, and it was very good. I just kind of lost my appetite today, so please don't take offense.
No worries. You guys had a lot going on. Thank you. No, I appreciate that. It's something I've been messing with, so thank you. Some people around here don't have such refined palates. Sort of like looks a glance over at Maximus, who's just totally oblivious to this entire night.
Oh shit, we're refined.
Riker's gonna give her a big hug as well. A
Yeah.
clean one this time.
Yeah, and Augustine is gonna set up near Riker, pulling all 6 of the blankets she's accumulated over the travels out.
Let me see this bag of holding is just blankets.
Blankets, fabric, craft projects,
Not trash.
Blankets or future blankets.
both.
Okay.
Augustine has 500 pounds of blankets.
Just kind of assemble it into a nest.
Pretty much, actually, yeah. Pretty much.
If y'all still have the portable hole, that's exactly what that would be. It's just a nest for Augustina.
I'd be a little fabric store.
And she just needs a little respirator so she can go down there and breathe for 12 hours.
Yeah.
For now.
Alright. Y'all want to do anything else before we go to sleep?
I can't think of
Well, Mare can't sleep, so
Yes.
True.
Mare's not sleeping.
no.
it. And Riker's blocking the door.
Mare already has contacts with the kids. Mare is waiting for everybody to fall asleep.
Okay.
Are you gonna go wake the kids up? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I probably actually would have asked what information he has about the fanged presence. You know, if there are any big shots that come in and out, or what their numbers are.
He doesn't know about the numbers. Tell you, the guy who runs this area, name's Tony. And depending on how you meet him, he's either Tiny Tony or Terrible Tony.
I broke the lead off my pencil.
So Tony tends to run things for the Fanged around here, but most times you'll run into him. He's Tiny Tony. They call him because he's small. He's a 2.5 foot gnome. Even the gnomes, he's Super small. Don't take his smallness for anything. He earned the name Tail of Tony for a reason. So
Yeah.
but he's the guy who runs the thing here in Capital.
Do they have sort of any business fronts or anything that
Not
we
that
should
I'm here.
avoid?
If they do, I haven't run into any of them.
You
So-
just don't want to run into them again.
Yeah, for sure. They tend to stay out of the area where the Scourge live and work. We don't much venture outside.
No crossing of territories.
Ain't nobody trying to die or go to wolf jail, so yeah. So yeah, tell me. You do anything with Kari?
Being Kari, being who she is sitting in her little corner and just pulling stuff out. Now that she's got herself all set up, she just starts pulling out some of the loot and cleaning it off and making the list of what we have and whatnot, because she knows everybody's going to want to dig into that tomorrow.
Is this list completely accurate?
It should be.
Okay.
The loot list from the guys?
Yeah.
But when she gets to the so she's cleaning everything, putting it back in, being very meticulous about, okay, we have this. When she gets to the silver raven, she's gonna set that one to the side,
Okay.
clean it off real good, but just kind of set it out there and
Cool.
put everything else back in, and she'll hold on to the raven as she's falling asleep, just kind of keep it near her.
Okay. How much mental focus do you put on the raven?
It's not so much she's focusing on it as much as she is.
I'm not trying to figure out what it is or anything.
No,
Okay.
it's a comfort item, and she'll say a little thank you prayer to the Raven Queen before she goes to sleep.
Well, that one goes to sleep.
I will say, Augustina picked up the copper coin left over from trying to cast Gentle Repose, and she's probably like hanging on to it and messing with it. And she eventually goes to sleep, feeling extremely unsettled still, and has some weird dreams. And the only thing she can remember when she wakes up very early in the morning is her father standing over a dead mare. And she's just sort of staring at the ceiling for a really long time before she goes, oh. And just cannot go back to sleep. So she just pulls out one of her craft projects and just sort of starts working on it and using her dark vision to kind of work on it until more people start waking up.
I would have tried to stay up with you, but probably passed out.
You're not tired at all.
Not a bit.
I was just going to bed, right? Just going to look at the stars. Smile. Look good on you.
Or something.
Riker sleeps and eats for the first time in a long time.
After everybody is asleep, Mare quietly goes upstairs to see if any of the kids are still up. Or if, specifically Amara, or if either of the parents are still up either.
Everybody goes to sleep. Yeah, I would say at this point, because by the time everybody sort of falls asleep, it's pretty late. I say goes to sleep. Quiet throughout the whole house.
Is there a window?
Yeah, there's a couple windows upstairs.
Okay, awesome. Mare's gonna climb out one of them.
Okay. Make a stealth check first.
I'm so happy I have advantage on these because I don't have a very good here. Cool. That is a 14.
Yeah.
Okay. Your way through. Feel fairly confident. Get to a window. So,
Awesome. I climb up on top and sort of look down below. Try to make sure I'm not going to fall onto anything. And then I just sort of like let myself slide out.
so just you're falling, not flying.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Just took a long
I
rest.
did take a long rest. No, because I'm going to need to get back in at some point.
So you fall.
Yep.
She's
Make
still
a,
alive.
acrobatics.
Cool, cool. You sure you don't want this to be like athletics?
Sure.
Where I'm like, I try to get myself out, and instead of just sliding down, like I turn around and like try to hang from my fingertips, so it's a shorter distance to fall.
You're not tall.
No, I'm not.
But sure, it could be athletics.
Athletics, that'll be 14.
Yeah.
Not terrible. High jump. So you sort of land on the ground. Superhero
Shockwave
landing
goes
is
up.
Totally useless.
Hmm?
Superhero landing is totally useless.
Totally useless. The shockwave goes up my ankles to my knees. I'm just like, ow.
So,
I pause for a moment to see if there's any movement from inside the house.
the whole city block is so immediately on scene quiet. Start.
Okay. I just start walking. And I start with walking just a little bit of like tiny little block. So up the street, across the street, down the other side of the street, cross back, walk back up, and just an ever slowly widening radius. If I find any inns or taverns that are still open, if there's any sounds of drunken revelry, I head towards that.
As you're walking through specifically this part of the neighborhood, like the immediate longer, it's interesting. You're used to like some of the poorer areas of those cities. But often you'll find like drunkards and just debauchery and such things. And the streets are quiet. And you don't. It's not an eerie sense, but it's almost a sense of. At first you go, well, where are they? What happened to them? And then you start thinking, where are they? Who took care of them? And then it's sort of a. Do they exist here? Because you don't see the entire immediate area that you're on as you're sort of widening your circle. Remains a sleeping city block. You don't see any taverns. There's really nobody out. You see the occasional city guard walking through. Sometimes there'll be two of them. It looks like they're just on patrol, unbothered. It's not like they're looking for anything specifically. But it's quiet until you get far enough out. You are several city blocks out from where you started. And you begin to hear some of those more normal nightlife sounds that you're more accustomed to. And you sort of wind your way around. You do end up finding some of the normal city nightlife that you're used to.
during that first part of Mare's walkabout, she recognizes that this is probably a very good thing, that it speaks to the safe streets and the quiet neighborhood and just the safety and security of this place. But at the same time, it is intensely frustrating in this particular moment. And until she starts hearing that sort of more normal regularity, what she associates with the city street to actually be, she actually contemplates, do I want to pick a fight with one of the guards? That doesn't seem like something Riker would want me to do. Augustina would probably chew me out. It's not nearly subtle enough for Gray. Kari would maybe do it. Means I probably shouldn't.
Got arrested this game.
Which is surprising, isn't it?
Kari would do it, so it probably means I shouldn't.
So as Mary is like chewing this over in her mind, that's when she starts hearing the more normal city life, and she's like, oh, okay, that's probably a better idea. I'll head towards that.
Okay. Sort of following the sound. At this point, it's like almost early morning instead of late night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the sun is still a couple hours away. But following the sounds, you come to what looks to be a tavern, a bar that is still in the full swing of, like, they're not shutting it down anytime soon. There's noise, it sounds like either laughter or fighting or both. You see that there are people just sort of like spilling out, then also like you see that there are people still arriving to it. Like this seems to be a very lively place in this, at least in this particular thing. You imagine it's the only place else, and every place else shut down, and all the remainders have just been funneling into this one location. And so as you sort of approach it, you see that there's just a conglomerate of people, different races. It's just this like melting pot of debauchery, and just everything is insane what's going on.
Mare takes just a moment to look and to breathe it in and to let out a sigh of relief. And just like almost relaxes into the chaos. And then she finds a gaming table.
Okay.
And she goes over and deliberately loses and cheats very badly while she's doing so.
Okay. So you're cheating but losing?
Yes.
Yeah. So you can tell, like, the people you're playing with seem to, they acknowledge the cheat first. You see them start getting mad. And then you lose and they go, okay. And then as it persists, they're not bothered by it. They almost are not openly encouraging it because you're losing, which is fine by them. You know? Whatever means it takes for you, like, as long as you're losing, they're winning. And they're fine by that. And so, like, they are happily taking your money, not even a worry about it.
Wonderful. So, like, the second or third round where I notice them getting comfortable with it, then I stop cheating so openly.
Okay.
And I might still lose and I might start winning. Based on luck. I'm not really trying either way.
Okay. Let's see here. How many games do you want to play that sort of might lose, might win?
Until I see them getting suspicious and or upset again.
Okay. Okay. So you sort of go with this sort of dance a little bit back and forth, right? And once you start, like, stop being so obvious. But it's whenever you start winning that they seem to begin to be having a problem.
Oh, wonderful. I order a round of drinks for the table.
Okay.
Something very strong.
Okay. They all take the drinks. It seems to buy you like another round.
Fabulous.
So are you trying to win or lose that round?
At this point, I'm trying to win.
Okay. Make a sleight of hand check to see if you win this round.
Is this Sans cheating or?
Oh, how drunk did they seem?
Fairly, but they're still cognizant of the game at hand.
Would it not have just been easier to walk in and be like, who would like to fight me?
Probably. When has Mare ever done the easy thing?
I don't know. Like,
That's a 9.
Okay. So I would say you probably lose this one.
Okay. Another round of very strong drinks.
Okay. So you go another round. Very strong drinks. Try to win again. You cheating with this one?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Natural 20.
yeah. Okay. You win flawlessly. You felt very confident. You gave a little bit, and you definitely, like, it was this, like, sort of give and take. It was letting them sort of just lure them in, right? And you win a solid pot, right? This one is good. Like, it's this perfect sort of bait and pull. And as you sort of win this pot here, you see that there's one sort of large sort of human man that just goes, all right, I kind of had enough of that. And he's like stands up and just like begins to just reach across the table to you and just like try to grab you.
Sure, I don't try to stop him.
Okay, so he just full on picks you up and just does one of these things and just like tosses you across the room.
Beautiful.
And so the rest of the people continue their game. Your pot that was theirs is no longer there. Like, it's like, before you could even sort of scoop this up, he had grabbed you and thrown you, and then like everybody was like, alright, so we'll just put that back into who's still here, and they just keep playing. And so this man gets up and then like begins to follow you, right? And so he comes up and grabs you and then just like full on tosses you out of the establishment itself.
As he's trying to do that, it's like, wow, you are strong. Is it your mother or the father who's the cow?
Oh. He sort of grabs you and goes, look, I don't like to hit women. And then just like full on just starts dragging you towards the door.
Oh, well, I don't either, but I mean, here we are, and I try to clock him.
Okay, make an attack roll.
19?
19? Yeah, that hits. So you do
5 damage.
5. So as you sort of reach up and just sort of clock him, he goes, rules are meant to be broken. And then he just goes and just tries to lay into you.
I don't even try to avoid it.
Okay. That's good, because he rolled poorly. But as he sort of like goes to lay into you, try not to avoid it. And he just lands a hit on you. We'll say call it 5 points of damage.
Oh, that was pathetic. Maybe your parent wasn't a cow after all. A sheep, perhaps?
At this point, he's just sort of fed up, and so you see him sort of reach down, and he pulls out what looks to be like a hand axe. And like you see, he introduces a weapon to the fight. Nobody in the tavern is even like concerned. Like, it just seems they're like, yeah, like at this point it's 4:35. People have been drinking forever long. And so he's going to now attempt to actually hit you with something.
Cool.
He's just sort of over it.
Oh, is that supposed to scare me?
But I believe that will miss.
Weak and useless. I'm standing right here. Can't you even hit me?
He's gonna try again. You're not gonna do anything. Okay. Yeah, that would be a. I can do math. I promise I can. 19.
That hits.
Okay. for another 5 points.
Beautiful.
You just gonna let him keep hitting you?
At this point, I take a little bit of the blood accumulating from the split lip from earlier, and I just spit it in his face.
Okay. As he's sort of like the whole time, like he's like hitting you and also like throwing you, like dragging you, like moving you towards the door.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gonna go again. Yeah, that'll hit. That's a 22, I think. 21. For 7 points of damage.
Cool.
And at this point, you're like almost to the door.
I don't particularly provoke him this round. I put on a little bit of a show of like trying to struggle against him, but I'm gonna let him toss me out if he's gonna toss.
He does. He just full on just throws you out.
Yeah, I take it with a little bit of a roll. I pop back up on my feet. Does he follow me out into the street, or does he stay?
No, he seems satisfied. So you're like, as you sort of toss him, you sort of roll and sit up to see that he's turned around, and like disappearing back into the group of people inside.
Yeah, well, screw you too, asshole. Well, Mare got what she wanted, so she feels a little bit better. Just slowly starts winding her way back through the streets.
Okay. As you sort of work your way back towards Maximus's house, by the time you get back, like the early rays of the sun are coming through and like beginning to shine over the tops of the buildings. So I think everyone's still asleep except for you. You said you were woken up early. So make a stealth check to see if you can get your way back up into the window.
At this point, I will activate my wings so I can fly up.
Okay.
Also, the rest of us got long rests.
Yes.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm gonna push that button.
That's a 9.
You get up to the window, okay? Just getting you and your wings through the window that you weren't quite ready for. So you're not quite as quiet as you were to hope. So you sort of like get inside, take a moment, realize your wings are glowing.
Yeah, I let him dissipate.
Okay. They disappear. Turn around, close the window. Okay. Seems like nobody was bothered. You definitely heard that. Seems like nobody's bothered. Bring your feet away back downstairs.
I'm probably making assumptions because I assume I woke up and saw her gone and I was like, do I wake Riker up? Nope.
Time it is. By the time she gets back, it's probably like 6, but you guys have to barely. I mean, you guys went to bed at 1. I think of that by the time you guys sat down, so like, you guys are definitely still very like tired, especially after such a long endeavor. So.
I mean, as soon as that window rolls over, though, like, this is Riker's very much at ease. He's
Yeah.
gonna wake up, make his coffee
Yeah,
before the kids, and just enjoy.
Riker's getting his like very restful sort of sleep, right? Riker hasn't had the opportunity to really sleep since he left his house 2.5 months ago. So, yeah, you come downstairs.
Awesome. I figure I'm probably fixing to head out towards where we cleaned up a little bit last night. And as I'm going, I see Augustina still sort of... not still, but is up and moving around.
She's like, again, it's like a little nest, and she's put the little nest up around her, and she has some sort of project that she's like cross-stitching on, and she was doing this sort of mom thing of like she was working on it, and you came up and she just kind of like...
And I go over to her, in pretty poor condition at this point. Do you remember your promise?
Have you ever tried to transplant a plant before?
A few times.
You know how you like have to get the root ball out, but eventually you've gotten as much as you can and you just kind of have to pull, and you can kind of feel a little baby roots snapping because you can't ever get all of them out. That's what it felt like yesterday. And it was really weird because it felt right, but I also felt like I was doing something very wrong. And I also felt like I've done that before. And I realized, after a really weird dream, I did. It's the first magic I ever cast.
The rabbit, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to kill you?
I don't know yet. But I need to know if you'll keep your word, if it comes to that.
My father killed the rabbit. Because it was a sign my magic was bad. And then my sisters got cookies. But if you want to kill the second thing I revivified, okay. Okay.
I can't tell. Sometimes I feel like you are saying what is absolutely true, and yet absolutely manipulative at the same time. You know exactly how to use your words. And it's remarkable. Because I'm pretty sure my death was a punishment from my goddess. And you undid that. And now I don't know what to do with myself, and yet I feel bad. I feel guilty. Because I want you to be whole and healthy and at peace. And I don't think you ever really have been. And so I feel like I'm angering my goddess if I continue to live. And yet if I do choose to go back to that release, that freedom, the consequences of which are going to hurt you. And that is something I do not want to do. So tell me, Augustina, what are the right words here? What do I say? What do I do? Because there is no good ending to this.
I don't really like gods. Because the more I think about it, the more I realize that if the first magic I ever did was revivify, Not only has my family known the whole time I could do the exact same thing my sister did, so have the gods. And they were still okay with everything I dealt with. So I don't know that I'm the best person to ask about gods, but yours is supposed to be one about luck, right?
I don't know anymore.
What if you got so used to the wrong kind of luck you weren't picking up the right kind? Because you're looking at it as you failed and so your goddess killed you. But what if you're lucky? Because you met Kari. And you guys ended up meeting us. And we ended up on the road together. And I ended up not getting rid of my magic. And you ended up meeting Riker, who can help you learn how to fight. And Timothy, who told you it's okay to fight for Tamora. And then you died. And there was someone there who could bring you back. What if the luck you thought you always had is completely different than the truth? Because what I found out is the cage I was in was open the whole time. But if you really don't want to live, I made a promise. If there's one thing my parents told me about the Feywild, it's you keep your promises. And she's gonna just go back to working on her project.
Mary will just get up and head out back to clean herself up.
Eventually, morning does come. We'll wake up. I think you probably wake up first and get things going. See Maximus get off and get up and head off to go back to his job. To work at the house. Mara gets up and helps with the coffee and starts just making food. As you begin to hear all the kids sort of stirring and starting to move. And you all get up. What do you do?
Riker's just gonna sit outside for a little bit, drinking coffee and enjoying the street.
It's a peaceful street, and as the city starts to wake up, you begin to hear people move about. The individuals heading off to do their various jobs and work that they have. You hear kids, most of them coming from inside the house that you're standing outside of, but some of them coming from up and down the street. It's a nice morning.
Alright, y'all. We're going to go see the king today. Hopefully everyone slept well.
Do a fast inventory, look around the room.
I have my morning sandwich.
Curry is kind of like somewhat sitting upside down on the ceiling. They're like kind of squatting down on the ceiling, like watching the kids play, and then she'll just drop down in front of one of them and scare him a second, then run back up the ceiling and just playing with the children.
Weird, creepy face lady is just sitting on the ceiling. That's fine.
No, she's got her.
You can change your face. You're weird, creepy face lady.
I mean, that's fair.
I wonder how many kids had nightmares because of you. I'm kidding.
She kept it very fun and lighthearted. She needed fun and lighthearted last night.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
thinking
think-
about my childhood as I watched the orphans wander around the house.
I think Riker probably has an idea that Augustine has been out for a while, because it's not like you've seen her working on projects and stuff, and she was awake when you woke up, so you would have seen the progress she's made on whatever she's working on. So you probably would have known at that point in time she's been awake for a little bit.
First things first. We will leave here, and then there'll be some things we can and should do before we go to the king.
This has been a busy past few weeks. 2 days.
And the rest needs to come in short order. Business first, rest second. I'm going to help with breakfast to make sure the kids are all fed and taken care of. And then we need to have our things gathered so we can go.
Well, speaking of gathering things, we've got a bag full, and she's gonna like hand the list over, and it's like, this is all the stuff that we've managed to pick up while we were making our way out. We need to figure out what we're gonna do with it all.
We'll do that in a different part of town. Kind of.
Well, if there's stuff that we may want to leave here, shouldn't we make that decision quickly?
We can
I don't think we want to flaunt what we have.
That's
If we're gonna meet the king, I don't think we should assume we'll be able to come back quickly.
I think since Riker knows these people, if Riker is saying we need to wait, we wait.
I would encourage it greatly right now.
Well, it's not like the bag gets any heavier.
But I do appreciate that thought, Kari. Riker will kind of give some of the rest of his rations and make breakfast and slide her a little bit of money.
Food is made and prepared.
How was your night?
Y'all did collect gifts. Did y'all? I don't remember.
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
right
those.
reaction.
Yeah.
I can't remember when y'all gave
That's
them.
fine.
But yeah.
Yes.
So we'll say y'all
Sorry,
managed to
Felicity.
you gather all of your stuff
Of course you would.
and you head out into the city.
Riker, knowing a little bit of the area as well, is going to find a place where we might be able to reserve like a hot bath.
Okay. Yeah.
Someplace where you can actually clean
Bathhouse
up
party.
a little bit and
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah. You can
That's
find
a
a.
different situation.
rent out a room in a nicer tavern where we could sit down and talk privately
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. You can. It's still early morning, but you managed to work your way out of the actual.
Cautiously.
The poor district, right? So as you sort of move, get into more of the city proper, right? So sort of more into like what's kind of referred to as just the East District itself, right?
Do any of those roads look familiar?
Some of them, but I mean,
Okay.
you walked a lot last night,
Hmm.
and so you worked your way around. You can find a place, you can get a nice hot bath. Go find yourself a little bathhouse and go do bathhouse things.
You know? Because the wash basin is great, but
Yeah.
we're about to go meet a king.
Yeah. So y'all.
Yo.
Is the goal that we're establishing out of this that we're getting cleaned up and then going to see the king, or is there an in between?
We are creating the space so people can actually express what they want to go do.
Okay.
So, if
So-
we want to go right now,
Right.
we absolutely can. If we want to wait, Riker's intentionally like, you didn't sleep well. You look terrible.
Well rested. Still.
Energetic,
You look
bright-eyed.
look like a college student on finals week. You look better than before. You're drinking this early in the morning still, so
I took a swig. Damn it.
in front of me and pointed it out.
So
yeah, Riker's like, let's evaluate
So
how
y'all
we're
had-
doing right now.
Comparatively to how much you know this boy can indulge, it's light.
Yes.
But also very early in the day.
Very early in the morning in front of a whole bunch of orphans in a stranger's house at breakfast.
13 plus 7 for sleight of hand.
You said you did it!
I don't care.
It was in a water flask. So,
Yes.
I feel like
I got
justifiably.
multiple bottles of hidden shit.
Okay, you know he can drink it like that, but he still held it up and said, "I have my beverage of choice."
sure. So everyone
So
has
I'm like,
Just
thought it was water. You knew better. You know.
No, everyone who lives in that house thought it was water. Everyone else is like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
Y'all know.
Everybody
No one
outside
else
of
does.
the 5 of y'all. Yeah, he's drinking water, but this is special water.
yeah,
flask.
exactly.
Which I feel like
That's the one I sneak from.
Yeah.
Gray slept after watching someone he cares about die.
Well, and
so-
also we all almost died in multiple ways, except for I think you were the only one that didn't go down, right?
Yeah, I think no.
Yeah.
She was,
Christina
Neither
wasn't
didn't.
even
she
hit.
was not even touched.
Oh shit.
Now I see it came out
Yeah.
flawless.
Felt like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
Metaphorically
Yeah,
smelled like
sorry.
roses.
So like, y'all all went down physically. She went down mentally.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a great day in the neighborhood. Thank you, Mr. Rogers. Like,
Man, I was thinking it too.
So y'all get your own. It's a big sort of
It's a great way to
private
just
bath for all of you. So
pull
you
aside
all have
and say,
access
"All right,
to.
It's like
It's
the
just
rain,
sort
so
of one
pull
big
aside.
room. Y'all have your own bath, and it's just this is y'all's room to do with as you will. So you can all get clean and use the space.
At the bathhouse. please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's within. Y'all have your own private sort of big bath for all of you to talk, and in here you guys can divvy up what you want.
Augustina's pulling out like clothes and stuff out of her bag to try and plan what she's gonna wear, and then as she's doing it, she's like pulling other stuff up, and she kind of holds it towards Gray. She holds it towards the mirror, and she's like, okay.
I will say, I pull Gray into a small side changing room for a few minutes before we head into the main room with everybody else.
Sure. Yep, this is y'all's time to do whatever y'all are wanting to do. So this is where y'all want to go and divvy up whatever things you found, discuss your plan for the rest of the day / week / future.
How
Correct.
much is all of this? Just so I can pull it out of the party funds.
Let's call it 2 gold.
Riker's paying for this.
Okay. I mean, we have plenty of gold
I
at
understand
this
that,
point.
but Riker is kind of taking point, just taking stock with the group.
I can slide a hand it back in his pocket. It's fine.
I figure we will divvy up party stuff in a bit. Riker's less than worried.
Yeah.
At this moment in time.
I was just making.
I appreciate that.
This is a good place to divvy up.
Y'all.
We're in another room apparently.
Only briefly.
Yeah.
So y'all back now?
I'll wait.
Roll a performance check.
Dad's standing on the other end of the room, just staring at the door.
What
Kari's like completely oblivious.
done?
Just
You done? You done?
No.
throw something at the door.
Now, so whenever y'all come back into it,
Riker's
Yes.
cleaning then. And then
at this point,
and Kari would probably
everybody has-
look at Riker and be like, "Is it safe to pull things out at this point?"
yes, and I appreciate your
So
patience.
Kari is going to pull everything out, lay it out in probably the most organized fashion anyone has ever seen Kari do anything. And separating the armors, the weapons, the things she has. She understands that they're a thing, like a brooch and a belt and a,
Yeah.
potions and everything. Has no idea what they do, but
Since Augustina has a pearl of power, when she sees the other one come out, would she be able to be like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, you guys can kind of discern some aspects of this thing. Yeah.
Need to try and moosh them together. Super pearl.
It's gonna be a conversation.
If no one's got any objections, Riker will go ahead and take charge of both swords if y'all are okay with that.
Which one's
The long sword and the flame tongue great sword.
I was interested in taking the long sword, but I
Can
won't
you
be able
use
to.
it?
I can use it. I just don't get sneak attack. But
And it's a strength based, so you'd use
Yeah.
your strength modifier as well.
yeah,
Do you want it?
I have no real use for it with the ones I got. We're back now, I guess. By the way.
Sort of figured.
Cool.
I mean, Riker was gonna take it if y'all weren't there anyways. Like,
Hey, do y'all want this sword?
nope. Hey, they're not here, man.
I rolled that 16 earlier.
Kari's gonna probably the two things that she's gonna like grab and ask if anybody wants, but very much giving the idea that she wants them is the belt and the raven. In fact, the raven is still sitting in her belt pouch.
Yeah, I think Augustine will pick up the Pearl of Power and just kind of hold them both and compare them. And just kind of be like... And then remember what she used the Pearl of Power for last night, and then just kind of be like, okay.
And so, do y'all have any questions about what those items are? You guys still have the list of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, it removed
Does Mare want to
everything out
take
of my
the
inventory.
armor?
So there's an adamantine plate, and then there's a +1 half plate, which is a medium.
Huh.
I can't use that either.
So the adamantine plate is just a normal plate, but it will cancel crits. And then the half plate is +1. Both are official items.
No, this is really blowing the skirt up.
We also need to figure out how to split up the health potions. My vote would be that they go towards the martial players,
The frontline people?
just because if healers go down, it's going to be good for you guys to have something to help with.
Which ones do we have?
We've got
Three
three greater, a superior, and then I threw a regular in there because Augustina never used the one that Kari gave her.
Riker's got a regular, so he will take a superior as well.
Okay.
I'll scoop up a greater.
Or not the superior. Sorry, he'll take the greater.
Alright. Then I'll have the superior and two of the graders.
One of the graders. Because
I thought
Gray's
we had
taking...
three.
We do. Gray's taking one and Riker's taking one.
Okay, yeah.
Mare would be moderately interested in the half plate.
You don't want the adamantine?
Not the adamantine, not the full plate, but the +1.
I now have a potion.
So I'll go ahead and add that to my inventory. Nobody else wants to speak for it.
Are you going to take the regular one as well?
Nope.
Sure.
So what was your armor previously?
18.
But what armor?
Breastplate.
You said there's the psych resistance. breastplate.
Yeah, but I wasn't attuned to it.
So what is your new AC now?
I'm currently looking for that.
There is.
I believe it'll be.
Half plate +1.
Should be
Found it.
17, 19 with shield.
It's a +1 shield, so 20.
So stuff that hasn't been claimed yet, in case anyone is looking: Ring of Protection, Brooch of Shielding, the Adamantine Plate Armor, and the Ring of Necrotic Resistance. Did Kari hang on to the holy symbol to send to the ravens?
Yeah, I still have the I left it on the table for now. But I was gonna address that once we got done divvying up useful stuff.
And we've got a normal shield as well.
I mean, Riker can't really use anything else.
I mean, yeah, the different rings are cool, but I've already got 2 weapons that I really like.
Yep.
So we
I
also
mean-
need to find some place to sell stuff.
I'm still wearing the ring of acid resistance too. Like, you know.
No. Well, I mean, if you wanted to switch out a ring.
I was gonna say, Mare would feel a little bit better with giving Freddy the ring of necrotic resistance. Just considering what happened the last time you took necrotic damage.
I put the ring on.
It
Whichever finger.
It requires attunement.
I can still put it on for the moment.
Okay.
I can swap them eventually.
Yeah, just take a short rest to switch out your units.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to have it.
He's gonna have just acid, necrotic, fire, just be like, which one do I want to tune to today?
I mean,
That one.
realistically,
Yeah.
I mean,
what you need is a gauntlet that will attune all the rings to it.
what? Why has no one ever thought of this idea?
It slowly turns your skin purple.
No, never mind. I don't like
You have to start talking with a deeper voice.
Oh no, Josh Brolin.
Give me a necrotic resistance, right? Yeah, okay. Add that. Just say I'm wearing it, but it's
He
not.
introduced me to Deadpool. And so I started messing with him. Josh Brolin, and so I started pulling up pictures of Jeff Bridges.
Think back.
It's Jeff Bridges. No, it's Jeff Brolin. No. This is no, that's Jeff Bridges.
You mean
But
yeah,
does-
Josh Brolin, the guy who was in the True Grit remake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or Tron.
Oh, that movie with the bowling?
Yeah. The
just-
brothers really brought the room together.
My brain just caught up with the conversation, and I'm like, no!
It's excellent.
Careful, man,
In
there's a
regards to the coin, if we split it 6 ways, so everyone gets some, and then we've got some for party funds.
How many do you have?
Just hang tight. So split 6 ways, everyone gets 129 platinum,
Yo!
16 gold, 25 silver, and 36 copper, and then we've got 3 copper left over that I figured would just go into the party funds.
What was
36 copper?
How much would you own the party funds?
129 platinum, 16 gold, 25 silver, and 39 copper.
Yo, life is good.
Text it to me.
Okay.
Just text it to me.
So now, I've made the character choice. I have 2 decorative rings for just because, but you know, now I've got them other 2. And I've gotten a bunch of gold. Man, pirate, yo.
So we still have unclaimed the plate, the adamantine plate, the ring of protection, the brooch of shielding, and the regular shield.
God, I'd love to
Am
take
I
the
miss-
plate if I could use it.
I've got those 4, and then I threw the giant great axe in there just because I wasn't sure what the plan was with that.
That's going to Riker's house.
That's a trophy.
Never
Mount that on
mind.
the wall.
It is
I
no
left that. I
longer.
left that on the Riker claim.
It is no longer unclaimed.
over the mantle, right? Like right over the fireplace.
He's starting
Hell
a
yeah.
brand new room that he's going to build just for trophies. So,
Cool.
Riker is not going to take all of it. He'll leave 29 platinum in party funds. Just so we can boost some of it.
I was gonna say, Kari's probably gonna leave 1,000 gold in the party fund.
Okay, why don't you text me? Okay.
You have 1,000 gold.
100 platinum
Or
1,000 gold.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's 100 platinum.
Text me what you are leaving in party funds.
Yes.
You got it.
I can't do all this math at the same
I'm
time.
going to be helpful and selfish and keep what you gave me. Thank you.
Okay.
Basically, they're like, look, if y'all are giving it, I can keep it. I can store that for you.
Mare gladly stores what she gets in her coin pouch.
Hey. Actually, Kari has a thing first. She will let Augustina know that she's looking for a thing, but if she doesn't find it here, then she will give it up.
So this room that we're divvying stuff up, this has the bath and everything?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and get in.
I figured all this is
I'm
all
good.
happening while you
Relax.
bathing, cleaning, changing.
And I've realized now that one of my old scars is a short one going this way, and the new one is going the other way. So, you know,
Nice.
X marks the spot. It's great. But it's the new one's much bigger because that was a huge bitch.
You took the belts of the gizzer, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So Kari's gonna spend some time.
What are you uninterested from?
Nothing. I didn't have to.
Oh, nice.
I still had the open slot.
Very nice. Are you...
Lucky you.
I know, right?
Damn
Like
it.
I literally
Damn it,
had my thing. I was like, what's gonna be the most useful?
What are you doing with the raven?
I'm gonna spend. I'm gonna keep that one, and then I'm gonna try to see if there's anything about it. But I don't know magics, so
As
if
you
anybody
sort
has.
of- Well, as you sort of sit there and just start thinking about it a little bit, you figure out, like, this sort of name comes to you, right?
Ooh.
In
Okay.
here, or you sort of feel the name, Emerald.
You do know
You want to spell that one for me?
Y-M-E-R-A-L.
Cool.
And as you sort of like, as you're holding
talk about it
this,
later.
Okay.
this figurine, as it, like this
This
sort
is
of
a good
name
morning.
comes to you, and just as you sort of hear it, you seem to just say it, and you watch as this figurine like turns into this sort of white smoke, and that happens. You sort of like move your hand and drop it, and instead of hitting the ground, it turns into a white raven with purple eyes. And it lands on the ground and sort of looks at you. And you have a figurine of wondrous power.
So you got
Magic Bird
you have a magic bird.
And just because
because I need a pet.
because I think it's more fun to give the bird a little more to do.
Just go away from me.
Whoever the bird works, I would say, because it's more fun. The bird works as a familiar whenever it is summoned. For what summons it. So it's everything that it does. So you know,
Mm-hmm.
but it also can operate as a familiar, like define familiar spell. For whoever happens to summon. So like, if you summon it, it works for you. If it goes away, someone else will summon it, it works for them. And then also, per the way it says, it can exist for 12 hours and then has to go away for 2 days. That's annoying. Instead, it will work as a sort of loose sort of recharge rate. And so, essentially, for every hour it's out, it needs to be away for 4.
For how many?
For 4.
Okay.
Instead of 12 for 2 days, for every hour it's out, it needs to go away for 4. And that's how we're sort of track that. Because that's more fun than summoning it for an hour and then not getting to use it again for 2 days.
I feel like there's some sort of bird prejudice going on here.
Listen, instead of reviving there, you could have been looting. You made a choice.
Damn.
Did I or did I not spend 2 days playing my flute for an egg, Wes?
We still could go, you know, visit the fish people and get a seabird.
For the chicken, it would have been just fine.
I want Zapdos, okay?
Pikachu, Zapdos. You really on the theme there.
Are you surprised? Rye was mainly electricity herself, so.
Not at all.
You could say you're shocked.
Ouch.
So, what else do we do?
Do y'all want to go see the king?
I do want to take some time to attune to the belt.
Yeah. All that's what's happening in this moment.
Do I have to roll or do I wait till the next day?
Shall we
That's it.
Okay.
perhaps craft a little bit of a plan before we leave?
Do we want to, as a players, take a break?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Please.
Please.
I had to do that earlier.
You all want
I
to take a break,
apologize.
and then we'll come back. And during this break, figure out what y'all are doing, so we come back and we'll
Cool.
Yeah.
activate said plan.
More planning!
Activate plan.
Alright, so let's do it.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good.
It's the same way I do mine.
Alright. So, as we
Yeah.
come back, you guys are still in the bathhouse.
We
And
get clean.
have decided
Well,
to go
speak for yourself.
Kari is going to take a few minutes with Augustina and just be like, never really met royalty and not entirely sure how to dress for it. And just start basically create your character on how to look for royal people.
Well, I guess in line of that,
Circle.
Augustina's actually gonna be like, well, I guess just pay attention. Because as I recall, we were using stuff we already had for both of y'all.
I don't remember.
So
It does sound
the
familiar.
idea is to make you guys match. So Augustina is going to be pulling out various things that she has, very long lengths of fabric, and using them to like tie and drape into pants and stuff so that you guys vaguely match. And she's going to take the robe that she bought for her sister, and she's going to fit it on Mare, but do it in a way so that taking the breastplate from her armor, it's kind of like tucked underneath, so you see just a little bit of the breastplate and stuff. Like do Mare up, do Gray up to match. And it's very much one of those, like, as she's going through and doing it, she's very focused, but that same sort of withdrawn quiet is still present in all of this. But she's very focused, just kind of getting it done, and then looking over at Kari like,
So Kari will go through a couple different outfit changes of trying to find a balance between the two, and then she'll switch to her more masculine half-elf form.
and then because I know for Mare it has been a concern, she also has some lace that she's taken off and sort of shaped and turned into kind of like a cathedral veil that you can wear so that the edge of it breaks up your face just a little bit.
I mean, whatever the additions are, but I've taken the coat off. I've put that away. Same with the hat. So, whatever. To make me one of your accoutrements or your entourage.
She's dressing you in much more of a light gray, so it's very different than the darks that you're usually in. Mare, she's gotten more of a dark blue. She puts Kari in like a very deep purple, going really into that like moon and snow.
Love it.
Like silvery
kind of go over and walk up to Augustina as she's working. They look good. Are you going to be okay?
He complimented us.
I've been in customer service since I was 12. What's a king?
Yesterday was pretty hard.
Yeah. Maybe after we deal with the king, we can talk about that.
This will find some time to catch up. They do look good. They do good work. Riker's gonna put his helm on and go cloak up and stand at the door ready to go.
Yeah. So, as y'all
Other sword.
leave the bathhouse and begin working your way through the city, as y'all begin to get closer, and you can see the way it's sort of laid out, right? It's generally flat on sort of this lower district area, and then it like almost rises a little bit, and you see that there's like an interior wall around sort of this like upper district, right, where a lot of the rich people are. And then beyond that, sort of raised up is where like the castle sits, right? So as y'all sort of working your way towards this upper district, you begin to hear like shouts and cheers and like a lot of applause and happiness and things such as like welcome back and she's returned and all of this like joyous sound coming. And so as you sort of maneuver your way towards like one of the main streets, you see that there's like a group that has gathered as y'all are sort of coming up, and it seems to be working its way up. And so as y'all sort of come up, you see what looks to be like a procession coming up. And it looks like you see it's led by a man riding on a horse in nice, what would be very nice shiny armor, but it looks weathered from the road. He himself looks a little presentary, very clean. He has his blonde hair is sort of well kept. You see him riding up, but he looks like he's been on the road for a little while, but is being presentary. There's several rows of knights behind him, and you see this horse-drawn carriage done up in the royal colors of purple and blues and silvers. And then behind are other knights and things coming up behind there. And you hear shouts of, "Welcome home." Wow, man, my brain just said, hey, you're not going to remember that name. Elaine. It says, "Welcome home, Princess Elaine," and this like very joyous occasion across the entire city. And so this procession, you see it's sort of working its way up, and so you all sort of follow in step sort of behind it as this procession is going on a similar path. You guys are also headed towards going towards the upper district. And so as they're ahead of you, you guys are sort of, the crowd is also kind of following, but they go on up, and as you guys are stopped at the wall leading towards the upper district. There's a guard there who's sort of keeping out sort of the throngs of people, but seeing you guys, y'all are dressed in a presentary manner, and so he sort of like waves y'all forward and sort of like acknowledges that y'all don't look like you belong with just the collective. Do you have your helmet on?
Yes.
Okay.
The eyes are glowing too, right? That's a whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And with the blue and silver and purple, are we also dressed in sort of the royal
A little bit.
colors?
Unintentionally, but a little bit, yes.
Hey, no, it was intentional. We planned this.
Sure, we'll say Augustina planned this.
Augustina was genius.
So,
She says quietly to herself, I knew that color scheme was familiar.
so as y'all sort of approach, he sort of waves y'all forward. Just sort of gives you all like a look.
And sees the bodyguard. Nice cloak,
I don't
the
know.
pulsing purplish. It's purple, right? The
Blue.
blue, pulsing blue
Yeah,
armor. Just the glowing orange eyes.
yeah. You're not a good sight.
The ambassadress for the Moon Empress is present.
Augustina is going to peek out from behind him. We would like to request an audience with His Majesty, if he has time and space.
More authority.
Just a moment, and you see like one of the other guards like turn and like leaves, and like a couple minutes later he comes back with like another guy who's just you sort of gather this is slightly more important individual. He sort of comes back and goes, okay, thank you for waiting on the sergeant of the guard. Ambassadress for
The Moon Empress of the Feywild, thank you.
the Fey ambassadress. Okay.
You do your
She's just sort of
Do
like,
your parlor trick.
I think Riker is probably looking down at her and she's like,
Oh, okay. Of course. Yeah, let's open the gate. Let's go. And you see like the gate sort of like cracks open. And he goes, I will
We
Unless
do
what you-
understand the
ambassadors.
timing
course.
might be less than favorable.
Of course, but we were just unaware that a diplomat was arriving today. I'll escort you up to the castle. Here, follow me, ambassadress. And he is a little flustered at the thought of ambassadress. A Fae ambassadress is here. What?
When there's a convenient moment, I'm gonna quietly ask you, for our sakes, how should we be addressing you so we're consistent and seem legitimate?
I can respond to this.
This is just
I'm asking you
walking
words.
up.
Oh, you're saying it out loud?
Well, yeah, when I can be quiet and not be, hey everyone.
He can whisper into his little walkie-talkie.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I do that.
I mean, Our Lady the Ambassadress? The Ambassadress?
Okay.
You know? I did the whole thing whenever Gray's more authority. She's like, Riker's the authority.
That's not how this is supposed to work. Okay.
Are you, my lady? Are you your eminence? Are you?
She who is amazing.
I like that one.
I shouldn't have said anything. Fuck.
Your illuminance? The luminary?
Sure.
The-
Should I put on an accent?
Don't know. Let's just play it straight, but let's play it with.
I met a really nice lady who came through the apothecary one time. Very nice elf woman. She had the most wonderful accent as well. I can try and imitate it.
You're the ambassador.
Oh,
The ambassadress.
Ambassadress, excuse me.
So as you all are walking through this district, you
might
notice
see
that,
Great.
the stark sort of difference. These are all high buildings, very ornate, very nicely laid out. The individuals walking through here are dressed very finely. As y'all work your way through, you're led towards another set of gates where there is notably a different set of guards. These are the castle guards themselves. They are dressed far nicer, and whereas the city guards, the Cerulean Watch, are dressed in blues specifically.
Anybody paying attention notices I'm a little more stiff because we're around soldiers. Not
the
fond,
the
not
castle
thrilled.
guards themselves are adorned in the colors, the royal colors themselves. And so you see the sergeant of the guard come up and start talking with one of them.
Did we get this guy's name? No, he's just saying.
Yep, he's just the sergeant of the guard. And that's what he tells you if you ask. That is his position for the day. He's the sergeant of the guard. And so you see him conversing with one of the castle guards, and he sort of leans over and looks at you all, and sort of gives the sergeant of the guard a nod, and he turns around and heads back, and you see this castle guard individual who is wearing he has this sort of shoulder bulge, shoulder cape type thing displaying the royal colors, and he himself is wearing this bright, shining, almost silver platinum type armor. He has a full helm on and has one of those sideways crests.
Like the Roman helmet, but the sideways one?
Specifically the
I don't know which.
Praetorian, the Spartan.
They're like
theme.
Well, because I know there's plumes that went mohawk this way and some
So
that
think
went sideways.
so you're thinking the Spartans. What
I
were they?
believe this is Spartan.
Yeah.
I think they both have. I don't know, but there's a specific, but specifically that sort of design.
The one that's a fan
Yeah.
in this direction. Neat.
And so
Very high up.
he looks at you and goes, well, as you sort of looking, all of the sort of these castle guards
Picturing just the most
specifically
majestic
are adorned
plumage.
very similarly. A notable there's a notable difference in their appearance compared to the city guards. They themselves feel very much more official. Looks at you and goes, Ambassadors, you would be so kind as to follow me.
Of course, darling.
And so he turns and heads off into the sort of through the main gateway. And you are led essentially into the inner courtyard of the castle.
And we're still with them.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't kick us out.
No, you're all moving together. You're led through the sort of inner courtyard and then into the castle itself. And you're led through a few different hallways, and then you are left standing in front of a large set of ornate, deep wood doors, but they are rimmed in like shining metals, highly adorned.
Very polished.
Yeah.
With mirrors.
And so he leads you to one of these and sort of motions for you all to stand outside. And he sort of dips inside. And as you're standing out there, you can hear conversation happening inside. You hear, Captain Blaine, I'm so grateful for your safe return and for the safe return of my sister. Again, your service is always highly appreciated. And as conversation continues, you see a elven man sort of come back around outside the door with the castle guard. And as he sort of shows up, the castle guard leaves back in the way you came. He sort of comes up and goes, "Hello, ambassadress." And he sort of is like scanning and then sort of sees you and goes, "Ambassadress, I am Peter. The king will, I'm sorry, he sort of looks and goes, His Grace will see you shortly. You are, just to be sure, you are the ambassadress
To the Empress of Moon, Night, and Winter of the Feywild.
the Empress of the Moon and Winter, the Feywild.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is your...
My bodyguard and my retinue.
If you don't mind waiting up here, whenever he's ready, I will announce you and then you may come in. When you walk down, stop just slightly in front of the first aisle. And then greet His Grace. Bow. He will address you. You know all this. During my diligence.
Of course.
It shouldn't be too long. It's just welcoming back the princess. What an eventful day. And he sort of like disappears back around the door.
Do we know anything about Princess Elaine?
History checks. Sure, why not? That sounds fun.
Hell yeah. Roll the dice. Get the numbers. Find out what we know.
Nothing.
Take that.
It's an 8 for me.
16.
22.
3.
You know that this is the older sister of the king. So you know that the king himself is
Right, because he's like
He's young
younger.
Yeah, he at this point he's 16.
He's but a wee lad.
And so he's
He's the
younger.
youngest one in our party.
His older sister has just returned.
Gotcha.
Would there be anything in Kari's training with dealing with royalty or diplomatics or anything of that nature?
Not specifically.
Okay.
Is there anything in my training that would help me deal with the rich people?
Avoidance.
Yeah. Or steal from, right?
Blatant avoidance.
Yeah.
Kari starts slowly turning invisible.
Everything
Can you do
see,
that?
This is very different. Like this is a
I could turn you
stark
invisible, too.
difference from
Oh,
everything
never mind, I
used
take it
to.
back.
Like they're smiling and nice to you.
It's disconcerting.
Augustine is probably just sort of like muttering under her breath to everyone because she's like, oh my god, I'm all of a sudden just really nervous for some reason. And she's like,
She was such a nice lady. I just had to give her a discount on some of the stuff in the store. I just, she was really, really nice. I don't think I can hold the accent up. Thank you.
Everyone breathe. You are supposed to be here.
Your Grace, I present Ambassadress for the Moon, Winter, and Night of the Fey Court. And you see the doors open, and you are led into this room. And you see, as you walk in, there is a group of people standing in fairly neat rows, lining either side of this sort of central aisle. And then you sort of look up, and there is like an upper balcony where other nobles themselves are.
Oh, good.
As you walk down, you see that there at the end, you see a high-backed throne with a
Depends on circumstances.
younger human man sitting there. He has a large, it looks large on his head, sort of this silvery crown. He has this like dirty brown hair. You see standing beside him, sort of, you're like as the doors open, you see almost turning, right? So beside him, you see an older woman with like the beginning of grays standing off to what would be his right behind his sort of his right, and sort of taking her place beside her mother. You see who you would imagine to be Princess Elaine, who looks very much like just a younger version of her mother. And then you see standing off sort of to the left and then down just a little bit, sort of just around sort of right here, is looks to be a very old elf. You know, elves aren't one to age, but this individual does look older. So as you all begin your procession down, you arrive, you bow, and you hear, Ambassadress, thank you for gracing our city with your presence, especially on this joyous day of my sister just returning from Regalia and her studies there. Why are we blessed with your presence this day?
I think there's something about seeing him that her brain all of a sudden just goes, oh, he's like Henry. And it kind of relaxes her a little bit, and she's like, we used to play pretend about this kind of stuff all the time. I can do this. And
Casual. I'm excited. Can't wait to see what happens.
and so she gives a second bow, and she'll start off in Sylvan. Good health to you, your majesty the king and his family on this joyous occasion. And then she'll translate that into common. I am Aicina, ambassadress of the great empress of Moon, Night, Winter, who reigns with grace and beauty among her people in the Feywild. She has a great curiosity of the ways of the material plane and has sent me to see, explore, and proclaim her to the great leaders here, of which you are obviously one of them. It's with this commission I and my retinue find ourselves in your presence, O king, to give you the greeting of our empress. So that is the foremost thing that has brought us here, although we did hear some curious news. So that was also something that we thought we would check in with you about as your lordship has time. But the foremost thing is just to greet you and give the warm greetings of our empress in the Feywild.
Sort of like nods at him. We are honored and most pleased with your arrival here. How long do you hope to stay? I say this because he sort of looks over at the steward, and the steward sort of does a count and nods to him. 6. In 6 days we are having a ball, a celebration to celebrate the return of my sister. And we'd be honored if you and your accompaniment would be special guests for the occasion.
Thank you very, very much. That is very kind of you, and something we are definitely of interest in. I will need to check with my lady, the Empress, just to ensure that I am following appropriate
work that she sees for me here, but I do not see any reason why she would hesitate for me to go to such a joyous and wonderful occasion as a ball.
And I must apologize. The city does not boast of having an embassy for the Feywild. And so, if you would accept a gift on behalf of the court here, your stay. The crown shall pay for your stay here, and we will set you up with all the accommodations that you would need for however long that you do intend to stay. And he sort of like shoots a side look at the elf standing outside, and you sort of see him like almost like sigh just like a little bit, like doing some of the figures in his head and stuff like that.
I think of the few things Augustina remembers are her grandmother and her mother telling her about the Feywild.
It is a great honor for you to present such a thing, your lordship. Perhaps instead of a gift, an exchange. As stated, we had some information to provide for you. Gifts have great meaning in the Feywild, and so rather than putting you in an awkward position, an exchange.
Of course, I did not mean to. I did not want to upset you and your customs. So, an exchange. Certainly. You said that there was something you wanted to discuss?
Yes, of course. We come with an understanding that there may have been some abyssal activity developing in the region, and it's a concerning phenomenon to be certain, abyssal activities in a region, you king. So to show our goodwill and in this exchange to your people, we wanted to alert you to a shift in magics that we are aware of could come as a result of such abyssal activity. And so it can be peculiar, just the activity that can happen with magics, making some changes or some things that might happen differently. So we wanted to alert you that it is possible that due to this abyssal activity, you may find a shift in the magics in this plane and realm as the two forces collide with each other.
That is concerning news. Would you be open to perhaps continuing this conversation tomorrow? This is a joyous day, as my sister has just arrived. I would not wish to dampen this gathering with discussion of abyssal activities.
Your Majesty, yes.
So, would you be willing to continue this conversation with yourself and myself, so we may fully discuss all that is happening?
I do believe that should be amenable in both directions, and we are new to this area, so it would be much interest to us to just explore the city for a little bit.
Excellent. Stuart Drydown, and he sort of looks at the elf. Yes. Would you be so kind as to set up with the ambassadress the time for our appointment tomorrow, as well as establishing all of the accommodations that they will be requiring during their stay at the city? I'm sure Lucy was, of course, Your Grace. I would be delighted to do such things.
Couple questions. Yours might follow. As she's saying there might be a shift in the magic, Riker is, of course, just watching the room, sizing up threats, and he might be there. What's the overall impression and movement? Like, is there a, oh my goodness, this is crazy, or is this like, are there like bitter looks, or like what's the overall impression of certain people in the room?
Did you have a similar?
Similar, yes. I was focusing specifically on the Dowager Queen and the steward.
I also would like to know if you recognize anybody in the court.
Okay.
I was with Mare on this one, looking at mostly focusing on the steward and
Insight for you, 3 perception.
Christina's just having a good old chat with her friend, not Henry.
Not half bad.
Okay, so Freddie?
You said perception.
Yes.
That is a 19.
19. As you sort of like were walking down, scanning all the collection of nobles and everything else, nobody immediately catches your attention,
That's a good start.
but there's like 50-something people.
Hey, a cursory glance just to see
Yeah,
if I'm.
nothing immediately catches your eye.
Because I didn't like disguise self or nothing. It's only been a few years,
Insights.
17.
17?
27.
23.
Nice.
Discussion of like such things. You like behind you in the galleries. There's like a slight like gasp and murmurings of when we start talking about like the abyss and adjusting magic. People start not loving that. And in a similar manner, you sort of see I didn't mention him at the start, but standing just off to the right and down, just a little bit, but like still fairly close to the princess, is that blonde-haired man that you saw leading the procession in.
Was he perhaps this Captain Blaine?
You gathered that might be who that was. And so you see him and the rest of the royal family seem equally like a little shocked and like they are maintaining the air of professionalism, but there's definitely like I'm sorry, you said the abyss is messing with magic. So there's a little bit of like a concern.
I wonder why. Can
I would say you, not quite mayor, but Kari and Riker. Rydell seems unchanged. Like everything you said with the mention of the abyss and the adjusting magic, he seems like the shock didn't hit him. Like he took everything, stoic professionalism.
Does it seem like, and only asking for the rare natural 20s, does it seem more like this is old news professionalism, or he just doesn't emotionally respond while by the throne?
He seems, he is entirely like unchanged and effective.
I don't like that.
Can I follow up a question to my previous role thing? I was specifically looking for anybody I personally recognized, but would I have recognized like any big names at all? Like nobody directly related to me, but just in general?
Not in general.
Okay. I didn't specify when I first asked.
They're like, this is the gathering of most of the nobles, like the immediate nobles in the city, it seems like. And so you gather that this is most of the immediate important people, as if like this was almost a impromptu gathering because oh shit, the princess is here now. Like we did not know when she was returning. We knew it was happening at some point, but it's like okay, so it's like oh, the princess is a day out. That type of like sort of looking around, because also looking around, you're like you could probably cram another 150 people.
So it's not the fanfare that they were intending.
Or that maybe not the fanfare that like this building could hold, and you imagine that might be part of the reason for the celebration ball, to give more individuals time
Pomp and circumstance.
to actually come in and greet her. So that is the information. So you see Dryden sort of acknowledge the key, turn back to this. Well, we meet up tomorrow. I would like to spend some time with my sister for the remainder of the day. So thank you so much for your visit, and I look forward to our meeting tomorrow. And you see him as he stands up. You see everybody sort of like come to sort of official form, and then he stands up and begins walking out sort of like a back right, and you watch as the royal family sort of exit, and you see that there were like several castle guards standing by, and they like fall into formation behind him and follow him out. And as he sort of leaves, there becomes like just a general, almost like relaxing, like some of the nobles begin discussing again, and you see Dryadel sort of come and like approach you guys. You walk down the list. And messages. What would mid-morning look like for you tomorrow? What are you meeting?
She's going to turn and look at whoever is immediately behind her, which is going to be Gray, and she's going to sort of look at you and then be like,
I think based on our situation, I believe that should be amenable. We should be ready and prepared at that time.
I was distracted by the hyena. Sorry. I assume it was related.
no, she's looking back at you as one of those like, I need to consult. Yes, that should be fine.
Okay.
Excellent. And then we will set you up at the magnificent respite in the executive suite. We shall have, he sort of is on, just points into one of these things, and you see that same elven man, Peter, walk up. He goes, yes. If you would show the ambassadress, she is going to be staying at the magnificent respite.
Excuse me. Thank
You
you.
would go and let them know that she is a guest and that they should prepare the executive suite. Sort of like, straight up, like turns along to the guest. Okay, we should prepare an escort for you. Do you have belongings that need to be taken there?
Through the wonderful magic of the Feywild, everything we need resides upon us.
Excellent. All right. He sort of points at two guards and they come over. These two individuals shall show you the way to the respite. Look forward to our meeting tomorrow. Ambassadress. He sort of like turns and follows like toward the same door we saw the royal family leave. And so at this point you have like the two guards sort of standing next to you, and you see that like the rest of the castle officials are like slowly starting to like escort the nobles, like, hey, meeting's over, fuck out. You know, like everybody leave, king's not here anymore. So they're like gently pushing people, and so
We want to go on break. Y'all are taking up our
the crowd
time. Get out.
begins like following a very predetermined, and there's like, as y'all sort of leave and walk back down those hallways, you see that there are like other doors and other turns off that all have castle guards standing in each one. Like, you will all be funneled this way, don't go wandering around. And so like they funnel everybody back out.
So are we kind of like mingling with the crowd at this point, or are we completely separated?
The crowd is leaving. Y'all can leave with them, and y'all can sort of hold back. But everybody's sort of being like, leave.
I mean, Augustina would have, like, if they started going, she would have started walking,
Yeah.
so long as specifically Riker was right behind her. She would have been like, okay, we're going.
There, like,
So
following
unless
the ambassadress, we work for her.
unless someone says something, she's just following the people out.
No, Kari's wanting to do Kari things, but
Do we observe
We made a deal.
particular order of precedence?
It doesn't seem. I mean, it seems like it could just be due because of logistics, but those up the ground floor seem to be executed first, and then those up in the balconies.
It's kind of like getting off an airplane. You just get off these when there's room on the aisle.
Do an insight check there.
It's just a very quiet through. I will disavow you.
Shit. 16.
It's not fair.
Your knowledge of
disembowel. And she believed it.
nobles and those who deem themselves important. You're just sort of taking in the collective. You gather that those of a higher position or greater importance are on the floor, and those of a slightly lesser importance seem to be up on the balconies. And so it does seem like as people are leaving, it does seem like those up in the balconies seem to be waiting until those have passed. And so there does seem to be like a hierarchical, you're not sure if it's a respect thing, like where that sort of breaks down, but it's just sort of in your observing, you go, okay, those down here are a little bit more important than those up there, it seems.
So,
Especially taking in the fact that everybody could have fit down here.
so like, you know, in a video game, you see the health bar over the bad guy, right? Like, as these people are going down, my thief senses, like, the guys that are closer to the floor, they have more dollar signs over them, and the guys at the top have less dollar signs.
Yes, but there's still a lot of dollar signs.
No, absolutely. Like, you know, when the bad guy has the
Yelp.
skull, it's like they all have like the giant money bag, but like these guys have a bigger money health bar.
Yes.
I feel like it's actually just like Yelp, you know, where they've got the little dollar signs next to the restaurants.
But some of those guys have dollar signs and a health bar.
Cool. Cool. No. It's, you know, you go into that new area, you kind of just take a good look. You kind of see what's there.
So
You don't engage.
Does Gray see he doesn't see any familiar woman or her father?
I already asked that
Okay.
question. I already asked these questions, and I was told.
We'll see what Gray goes to the ball.
He's
Carter,
not
what are you
busting my
doing?
balls.
Yes, Kari, what are you doing?
Kari and Augustina had a very private conversation
Through text message?
involving the word disembowel.
No. What Augustina said is, I will disavow you. What Kari heard was,
I will disembowel you, and Kari believed it.
Are any of... Oh, no, you said private conversation.
I mean, it's over the, so like, it.
Ah,
We all
Yeah.
hear it.
cool.
It's literally one of those, like, Kari starts to go off in one direction. Augustine goes,
You made a promise. We made a deal. We made a deal.
and Kari's like, and she goes,
I will disavow you.
Kari realized, like, well, that seems a bit harsh, but okay.
That moment when you're threatened with losing diplomatic immunity.
All she has to do is go, this one's an imposter!
pretty good,
Roll a
yeah.
new character.
Kari turns invisible, and she's gone.
She wouldn't
You're not
even,
really one of my retinue. How did you get here?
she wouldn't even have to, like,
It's a changeling.
It's so rude.
And that's not even allowed.
From one fade to another, so you believe it.
Yo.
That's funny. Alright, and so y'all are led out, and as you all leave, those two castle guards do in fact stay with you, and they escort you into the upper district, and lead you around to what looks to be a very, very nice. This is like a 10-story building made out of something. Sad. Oh, hi. Made out of something that seems to produce its own sort of light. Like the walls themselves on the outside of this, like the whole building just seems to like just softly glow.
Freaking rich people.
So as you all sort of walk into this sort of main entryway, you are like the floor is just pristine, sort of white marble. There's like gold.
I've been in that house
embossing
before.
and everything, just everywhere. Just the most ornate things. You see an individual comes up to you and goes, "Hello." You see that this is a half-elven man. Hello.
Another of my ilk. They're everywhere. We're
Welcome.
like a damn plague.
Sort of like does a quick scan, like ambassadress to the magnificent Respite.
Magnificent indeed.
I'm Harold. If there's anything you need, do not hesitate to call. I'll be happy to show you to your suites.
everything we need was carried upon us.
If you do, in fact, need assistance in carrying anything you might require while you are here, do not hesitate to ask. And he like leaves and then just like gracefully begins walking towards like the center of this room. And as he walks to the center, you also follow. You see the castle guards sort of leave, and you see something that you all are familiar with. A small sort of glowing panel shows up. He pushes a button, and you all center of the floor rises up, and you are led to what you imagine to be the very top of this building. And so as it like rises up, you're led into the center of this large living space that is just decked out with the most, like, there are cushions and there are like there's a whole like wall of just alcohols. And you see like there is this wonderful like balcony, like there's a whole wall just made of glass, and it's like looking over the south of the city and like into like, you know, towards the river that runs right next to the south. And so this massive setup. And he goes, this is the executive suite. The various bedrooms are located along those doors and those doors. And he points, and there's like 10 doors that he just pointed to.
So we each get 2 bedrooms to ourselves or something?
If you require anything, do not hesitate. He motions, sort of waves his hand, and you see like that sort of glowing part show up. If you simply press this button here, someone will come and get you what you need. They will be arriving from that door there. And he points to another door to the side. This is specifically for you and your own personal use. As long as it is up here, no one can access it from down below. And so your privacy is secure. Are there any questions?
We are interested in exploring the city a bit and seeing what is to be seen around here. So if there are particular places of interest that we could maybe go and see and explore that you would recommend, we would be most intrigued.
Well,
Travel brochures.
here at the Magnificent Suite, we boast of a most fine dining experience. However, if you're looking to wander these lovely parts of the city, and he goes and like begin rambling off names of places, and you realize like every place he is naming definitely exists in the Upper District. Like the Wonder City is like what he's referencing. And so he references a few different like shops that he thinks you might be interested in, and a few like different, you know, places of dining and whatnot. He references that Melfor the Magnificent lives in this tower, and he sort of points over and you see that there's like this massive like red with like silver streaks running through it, just like a tower, just like off in the corner. And he's like, that's one of the wizards who lives here, you know, pointing out, you know, some of the
I wonder if he knows
key
that.
things. And so just pointing out some of the immediate, you know, places that y'all might be interested in, and then, you know, one of the keys sort of like, everyone always asks, what's at the big red tower? So, sort of addressing that at the front.
I think, are there any like servants or anyone who obviously works there but is not one of the like amazing people who maybe comes in at some point in time?
I mean, right now, it's just y'all up there.
Okay. Yeah, because I think if that happens, which obviously like Riker's familiar with the city, but if that happens, Augustine is probably, when she gets a second, gonna ask them like, okay, so we learned about the fancy stuff, but like what else is there actually here?
Did he in his listing off of places, were they all just highfalutin little travel spots, or was there things that we would, I don't know, shops or something that would be useful to us?
Like just
as
based on the
adventurers?
names, like it was all like, you know, Fabulosa's fancy, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
There's all just like the most, just like you're hearing and going, okay, so what what would an affordable person go to? Like,
Yeah.
it is all just like this. Most you can just sort of tell by his hair. Like, if you were to ask him, you know, hey, where's the closest McDonald's? This dude would have no idea. Like, he exists and lives in this sphere.
Very pretentious.
Yeah, and that's just, you know, because you sort of gather by the entire demeanor of he's not even used to interacting with people.
Can I get sorry, that took a second. Can I get a description of his accoutrement? Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, so he is
Save wavelength.
he is dressed in what looks to be a very like it in a similar way that the building just like lightly glows.
Of course.
His robes also just like put off like this just light, like just self-light, and they're all trimmed with this nice gold.
Oh man.
That seems to just itself shimmer. And you know, it's like as he moves, he kind of just glides.
Oh my god, he's so cool.
Just sort of.
Look at him, he's so rich and
And
cool.
you notice, like, as soon as y'all walked in, like, he was right there, ready to like converse and talk with y'all. And for those of you who are highly perceptive, as you first walked in, sort of taking the scene of everything, not everyone who, like, the people working behind the desk were not dressed to such. So you imagine he is
Like the head guy.
when somebody is using the executive suite, they deal with this individual.
Gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha,
like he
gotcha.
is not necessarily the average.
Yeah.
This is a very nice place, very fancy people, but he is used to dealing with those who can rent out the most, like.
He's so important he doesn't deal with the common peons.
Yes.
Yes. Very true, yes.
He does not deal with those who cannot afford the executive suite. Yeah.
Cool. Does he have anything petty I could just pickpocket off of him out of...
No, he's just wearing just like the normal like robes. He's not like he's.
I was hoping he had like a key or, you know, like
We will figure
stapler.
something out because
We're gonna mess with this man.
Augustina won't. It's not in her, but Brenda desperately wants to.
Right? Brenda, I will be the vessel with which we fuck with this man.
Please,
It'd
yeah.
be great. Because he is, I can smell the pretentiousness through the ether.
I mean, this is the kind of place, like, if we were with Rye, she would be getting this suite just so she could mess with him. So please do.
Yes, no, I was hoping he had some, like, I don't know, a stapler, I don't know why, but like, it's just some random dumb thing he needs that I could just take.
He doesn't seem to need to carry anything.
Damn it.
Just like, you know, you're casually rearranging things on the back of his. Taking a button here and there.
So, as he sort of
Where's
asks you all these questions, he goes, and you watch that he goes into that door that he marked that where your customer service would arrive from. So he seems to walk out to that door. And you're all left alone in the suite.
So, do we have, is this essentially the top floor of the...
You have the entire top floor of this building.
Okay, and there's a service people's room. There's like the main living zone.
Yeah, so
And
there's
then
like
we
a
just
main
have
living.
bedroom.
Yeah, there's a main living
And a
zone,
bar.
and
A wall
like
bar.
10
Well,
line
I
bar,
mean-
and then there's a whole like. I say kitchenette because like why would you need a whole kitchen? That's what the servants are for. But there is like a sort of like a really large sort of like kitchenette type thing. And then there's all sorts of beverages and stuff all like readily available. There's like
And they paid
not
for
just
this.
one obnoxious fruit basket, but there's like a fruit basket on like every table. You know, y'all immediately just start like kicking in doors like, all right, what's in this place?
Bro.
And you find out like all of the pillows and all the things are just done up like annoyingly fancy. And there's like, you know, the little like Andes mints on like every single pillow.
See, and I wanna make a mess, but I know he's not gonna be the one to clean it up. Shit.
And you go and you're sort of like, okay, so what's in this like servant closet thing? So you like open that up, and it is just like a simple. I say simple. Nothing in this room is simple. It is, but it is like a room that it seems as you sort of walk in and just start doing this, you see one of those panels like show up. You see like, okay, so this is probably where they come up and down from. You notice that there's a lock on your side of that, so like people like just can't come in. You know. And then on the
Can we use the servants?
you can try.
That could be fun.
So then
I mean,
the
we're teenagers in a hotel. We're gonna fuck up something.
entire like on this sort of main area. on the like the main area sort of looks down this southern wall.
I've been to conventions,
The
man.
entire southern
like the
wall
mid
is
2000s.
pretty much just all glass, and there's
I've
like
seen
these
some shit.
great double doors that lead out to like a balcony that takes up like the whole thing that lets you look out.
Oh,
And you notice as you walk into each room has a balcony facing its respective like either east or west section. But the north wall is just like solid, and most of it is just lined with various options.
I don't like. I can imagine definitely like Gray and Car. You're probably looking and exploring everything. I don't think Augustina really is. Like as soon as he leaves, she just kind of like knowing where Riker's at, just kind of leans back and rests against him. Like, oh god.
There's a collection of pillows and couches. There is an entire like
pillow fort.
There's a whole section that's just the conversation pit. Like there's a whole like this place has like in addition to other seating options, there is a conversation pit full of pillows and cushions. And
I'm
things as
imagining
well.
places I've been at for work, and it's making me angry. Damn it.
Yeah.
And so as y'all are now taking in the sights of your new suite.
I do want to look around and see if there's any bullshit, like listening things, magic bullshit.
I was thinking that same thing.
Make investigation checks.
I would like to help.
Okay, one is do with advantage.
Yeah, do you want advantage? Well, you already rolled.
I already rolled,
Okay,
so
take-
I get advantage.
I'm going around all of the bathrooms and seeing what sort of fancy soaps and shampoos and perfumes and makeup.
Each individual bedroom has its own individual like
Okay, that's what I got.
house almost style, right? Like it is like each bedroom has its own like each bedroom has like a bathroom, like a whole like bathhouse that's like the size of this room for like the bathroom.
Fuck you. Like nothing personal. Fuck you. Also, I got a 21.
Yeah, this floor takes up this living space takes up the entirety of the floor
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
hotel.
Yeah, 21. 'Cause-
There's like in all of the bathrooms in like this sort of the central bathhouse, there's one of those like sort of infinity fountains that just like continues to pour into
neat.
the thing.
And they did it magically because like.
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
cool plumbing, or
It
is it?
seems like it's coming out of the wall next to it that just
What?
sort of feeds into it. And as you sort of all like looking around, you realize that there are several buttons next to it, and you realize that you can like adjust the temperature exactly how you want it inside.
I'm just gonna start monkeying with stuff because I can.
Yeah. So
And I will strategically, as I go through different rooms and different stuff, I will be swiping. I want that bottle, and then like a few shelves down, I want this bottle. So that way they're not all concentrated to like one part of the shelf.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You go, I want this bottle. You put it in your bag. You look back. They just
Is it in my bag still?
still in your bag?
Fuck yeah.
Like,
He's found a way to kill me.
and you notice as you sort of messing with it, you can get the water to like incredibly steaming hot, or you can get it to where ice forms, and you can have a full-on ice bath if you want this thing.
Okay, so one of the bathrooms, we can put ice. We're going to put a few of them bottles in there. The other bathroom, I'm going to get it steamy. I'll draw a wiener on the fucking mirror.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely. Ton of them. Yeah, this place is obscene. So, as y'all are walking around looking out, you do not detect
Right.
any,
I had a 12, so I'm useless.
any devices. So we will pick up next time, as it is now time. We will pick up next time
Aw.
in y'all's
Ridiculous.
Lavish arrangement that we've worked out with the king. It's
Yeah.
delightful.
I want
tininess.
to like bash on how ostentatious this is, but I'm about to be there in about a month, so
Yeah. Yeah. This place is ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
I just love the fact that like the idea of the ambassadress's entourage for the Moon Empress is drawing dick pics on here.
It's just a steamy area to.
I mean, I fully expect, like, we've got all these bedrooms, Augustine's, and you're like, I mean, let's just, like, bunk up in the conversation pit. Like,
Also,
I mean-
your working for Faye, so duh.
Yeah, I mean that actually tracks.
I'm surrounded by the rich people I used to steal from, and there's soldiers everywhere. I don't like it, so I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, so
Damn
for
it.
the record, y'all may figure this out later. This suite runs about 100 gold a night.
And they're paying for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rock on.
Yeah, and every single one of those bottles. Just,
Thanks, taxpayers.
Listen to the ching, ching,
Right.
every single one.
Man.
You don't mess with the mini bar
No,
unless somebody else is paying for
The
it.
cheapest room in this entire place is 10 gold a night, and that's like the cheap, which you imagine probably isn't like super fancy. But
Well,
yeah.
thanks, fantasy taxpayers.
Right.
Oh man, too fucking real.